when war broke out, I was a senior, and at our Half Moon Bay High School, we had an intercoms and thing. So wherever what class we were able to hear everything. And when I went to the history class, I know now that the history teacher didn't mean anything, but he, as a joke to make us relax, which was a wrong thing he said "Oh, we're at war now, and we have two enemies in the room," meaning there was two of us, Japanese, a boy and I.
Did you take that as a joke? Did you
No, I didn't take it anyway. It just hurted me. And because we felt so ashamed, we didn't have anything to do. We were born out here. We didn't know anything about Japan, just that our parents came from Japan. And we felt very shamed and embarrassed about this thing. And because we were always told, don't disgrace your family or the rest of the Japanese community and all that. This is how we were brought up. And then that naturally made us feel, small. But when he said that, I just dashed out of the classroom and ran to the restroom and was crying. And there was one good friend, but she passed away, who came to me to comfort me. And then the principal came later and to explain to me that the history teacher couldn't talk to me, but the principal came and said that the history teacher came to him and said that he was very sorry. He didn't mean to do that, And I don't think anybody realized how we were feeling. We were all, if you talk to most of them, they'll say they were embarrassed and shamed. We didn't have anything to do with it, but just because our ancestors were from Japan, we felt that way. And then, within the month after that, then I went home from school, and my brother and them were already packing and said, "We're moving." And I said, I didn't get to say goodbye to my favorite, friends. But that's how we left. We borrowed a truck from over here from Cortez. My sister was living in Cortez, married, and we borrowed that. My brother-in-law came, and whatever we could load on there and in our cars, that's all we took. And we were farming, renting, and so horses and tractors and equipment and all that was just left behind, and so that's how we came, because we wanted to come inland and then decide where else shall we go. But at least we had my sister supposed to come to, and her in-laws from San Francisco had a business, and they also moved in. But then by that time, in a few weeks, we were all stuck. We couldn't go anywhere, and then it was evacuation. We moved into Merced. It was in May, I think, and we got on buses. I remember, from over here, and then in Cortez, and then we were in Merced till September. And coming from the coast, it was very uncomfortable for me, for my family, because it was so hot. It was during the summer that we were in the camp, and it was a tar paper barrack and no ceiling. You could hear anybody from the way on one end of the barrack from the other, because there was no ceiling. It was just open. It was just the wall.
Open roofed tar paper.
Yeah, and it was just walls between each family. And we all knew we had to go to Assembly Center and Turlock. Some went to Tanforan. That was the racetrack. And they went over there, and they were put in horse stalls, and it was smelling, they said, and they had to fill bags with straws as a mattress, but ours wasn't that bad. But I remember when we were going to be evacuated, it was sad. These older people, what is going to happen to us? Are we going to be able to meet again? Because we were all scattered, and how they were really worried about the future. How long are we going to be left in camp and all this? And our younger generation, it was more adventure, I guess.
For you, it was that way?
Yes.
Did you have a sense of sadness about it when you were there?
Yeah, to leave my friends, I did, but I was coming to my sister's place, and then going with her in-laws and all that. I didn't feel that way because we were going to be together.
How did you feel that the government was placing like all of your?
Well, I think most of us young people, we were brought up. There's a word shikatagana. You can't help it. You just go according to what has to be done. That's how we were more or less brought up. So there was a very few older people that objected. You must have heard about them. But I think the majority, because we were all still young, we had to be with our parents. We couldn't make a living without them. And even, part Japanese that were still sent to Japan. I mean, in these camps. They didn't have to be full-blooded Japanese. And I think because where we lived, there wasn't very many Japanese. So it was quite something for me to be among the Lala Japanese, is how I felt. To me, it was something, and like I said, I never stayed there that long because I wanted to get out. And I had just only one experience, which I thought it was funny. While I was waiting for a bus in Connecticut, there was one man that was very friendly to me, and we were talking and all that. And then he looked at my suitcase, because everything we owned, we had to have our family number on there, on what we had. So and that's all we had. We didn't have any other kind of suitcase. We couldn't afford it. So we took what we had. And when he saw that, he said, "Oh," he says, "I can't talk to you anymore. You were a nice girl to talk to, but I can't talk to you anymore." And I thought, it didn't hurt me. I thought it was funny. But that was the only incident I had when I left camp. But after the camp incident, the third generation was the one that really was upset that we had to go through that kind of experience, and then they got it started to let people know that it was not right. We were American citizens, and even babies and anybody, as long as we had Japanese blood, we were sent, And but it was something that we just felt it was a time where we couldn't fight it.